Hey, what's up guys? This is Ricky V, and today we're going to talk about agmatine sulfate. Now, agmatine is a chemical found in humans and animals. It is also present in other life forms like bacteria and plants. Agmatine is naturally occurrent. It is a metabolite of arginine. It is created during a process called arginine decarboxylation. This just means the removal of the carboxyl group in arginine. Once agmatine is created in your body, it is stored in the neurons and released during neuronal activity. Agmatine is considered to be a neurotransmitter and neuromodulator. Researchers have found that it has some promise for alleviating neuropathic pain and drug addiction, and shows some potential in protecting against stroke and helping to benefit cognitive health. And if you want to research more about agmatine sulfate's effects on the brain, here are a couple studies you can take a look at. PMID 31063707. The cumulative evidences of preclinical studies support the possible use of agmatine as an agent for neural damage and neurodegenerative diseases. So there's already plenty of evidence, and when you put it all together, it would seem that agmatine is a good way to protect your brain against some neural damage and some diseases. How about PMID 2878636? The safety and low incidence of adverse effects indicate the vast potential therapeutic value of agmatine in the treatment of neurological diseases. Now, that is all fine and well, guys. Agmatine sulfate is really great for your brain, and there's research and anecdotal evidence to support this, but you're here to find out why you should be taking agmatine sulfate along with your stack of Vintage Muscle products. Well, agmatine sulfate is part of the pre-workout formula in the Vintage Muscle line. The pre-workout contains agmatine sulfate, and not just because of its nootropic effects. Agmatine sulfate can help your workout in a couple of ways. As we just established, it is a neurotransmitter and neuromodulator. But recent studies have shown that agmatine sulfate may help increase nitric oxide production in the body, in addition to its nootropic health benefits. Here's a good study to check out. PMID 9010916. These studies suggest that agmatine can bind to a self-surface imidazoline receptor on the endothelial cells and can stimulate nitric oxide production by increasing cytosolic calcium. Therefore, agmatine appears to act directly on the endothelial cells to increase synthesis of nitric oxide, a vasodilatory substance. So there it is, guys. Not only is agmatine sulfate helping your neurons fire along, it is also creating vasodilation via increased nitric oxide synthesis. This is a double punch for anyone looking for the ultimate edge when getting that workout in. Agmatine sulfate is not only going to help your brain, but it's going to help that muscle pump. And this is why agmatine sulfate is an integral part of the Vintage Muscle Pre-Workout formula. And right now, as of this recording, you can get the pre-workout for free. Head over to vintage-muscle.com and click on the Buy Now button. As you scroll down, you will see an offer in the middle of the page somewhere. It'll tell you just what you need to do to get the pre-workout for free. The offers and the deals change as time goes on, so just make sure you grab the good deal as soon as you see it. You're going to get about 500 milligrams of agmatine sulfate in the Vintage Muscle Pre-Workout formula. Anecdotal evidence by bodybuilders have really stressed how potent the mix between L-citrulline and agmatine sulfate is when taken together to help you get that pump. I just did a whole video on L-citrulline. That one you ought to check out. And there's 4,000 milligrams of L-citrulline in the Vintage Muscle Pre-Workout, along with the agmatine sulfate at 500 mg. Those two ingredients together are going to give you a great pump, along with the other nitric oxide producing ingredients that I'm going to get into in later episodes. Agmatine sulfate's effects on both the brain and vasodilation through nitric production plays really well as that fulcrum ingredient that brings together the effects of all of the vasodilating nitric oxide producing ingredients in the formula along with the nootropics. Yeah, guys, as I mentioned, agmatine sulfate is a neurotransmitter and neuromodulator, which to me seems like it would work really well with your selenium tertusium in the formula, the huperzine A, the amphenethyl dimethylamine citrate, and the caffeine anhydrous. Put together, that is a great nootropic mix, not only to enhance your brain's potential, but to also add some protective effects to your neurons. The fact that agmatine sulfate seems to enhance all of the effects you get from L-citrulline is an added plus. There is also creatine monohydrate in the formula that plays into the end of the spectrum that allows you to get that pump. And I'll have a whole video for you guys on just how creatine monohydrate is used in the formula and why it's so important here. This is just a great pre-workout. In my opinion, probably the best one on the market right now. I haven't felt anything like this since the old days of Jack 3D. Some of you guys that have been in the game for a while know just what I'm talking about. And as far as the price goes, oh, the price is just great. As I mentioned earlier, you will be able to get it for free if you order the right amount of product or enter the right code. Now, you don't have to just take my word for it, guys. There are thousands of Vintage Muscle customers right now talking about this pre-workout in the community. As a matter of fact, you can go right into the community right after you place your order and ask how everyone is using the pre-workout. Maybe pop in there and ask which stacks you should get to go along with the pre-workout. To check out the community, go to vintage-muscle.com and click on the community button at the top. Guys, just like you, using the Vintage Muscle products to shape their physique and change their lives. Make sure to come by and check it out. Say hi. Tell them Ricky V Rock sent you. And I will be right there along with everyone else in the community to answer your questions and help you along in your progress. Well, that's it for me today and Agmatine Sulfate. I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.